local dailies. All right, let's take a look at the dailies, and this is a big story this morning, the sale of Diageo shares of EABL, and that is what features on the front page of the Star today. Diageo sells EABL stake to Japan Brewer for 300 billion shillings. 300 billion shillings. Unajiuliza kwani what is the valuation of EABL? And today I've learned that the valuation of this company is actually close to 550 billion shillings.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's
close to a trillion.
Yes, they're heading towards that. It is one of the biggest taxpayers in Kenya, of course, just like Safaricom, which we are also selling, and Kenya Pipeline, which has, Uganda is raising money to buy. So Asahi Group is the largest brewer in the Asian country. Kuna mlevi mmoja aliona hii akaniuliza, sasa inamaanisha tutaanza kukunywa pombe za Japan. Because Diageo is a European company, so there's a lot of influence, especially on what we drink, especially from Europe. The whiskeys, the beers, most of them, there's a lot of European influence. Now that this one will be the majority, it's a Japanese influence. Oh, of course, if you look at the dailies, they've actually given notice of no intention to take over control of EABL. But that is it's just about a matter of time. They will take over control of EABL. And Japan are known to have their own unique alcohol influences. Are they going to come to Africa? This is very expensive. Diageo has made a profit of about 47 billion shillings from this sale. And you wonder, why would a Japanese company spend so much money? Wouldn't it be easier to just buy another one? No, it's very strategic. And you'll see a lot of Japanese influence in as far as what we drink in Kenya. In the
Walevi.
Walevi. Watu wengine kama huyu master na huyu director wetu master. Kuna ile kitu wanapenda kukunywa, sijui kama itaingia kwa hii list.
Director of the year.
Director of the year. By the way, By the way, Kevin is the director of the year.
Yes.
Congratulations, Kevin. Because wacha tuona mahali.
We are hosting the director of the year.
Yes.
At Cape Media.
Because this is, I think, the penultimate show of the year, the very second last show.
Yeah.
So I think it's deserved.
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations, Kevin. This story refuses to leave the front pages of our dailies. Jirongo's death. Jirongo died, but blunt force trauma reveals autopsy report. And you can see government pathologist Johansen Oduor there. And niliona mtu akisema ati it's blunt force that caused the death, not the accident. Kwani blunt force inatoka wapi?
Ilitoka wapi?
Anyway, that's the story. Penalties jump to 26 billion shillings as pending bills pile. This is according to the control of budget. Pale June 2027 race, Ruto allies trained fire on Kalonzo. We discussed this yesterday. It is just about Kalonzo now. The president and all his people are just targeting Kalonzo. And Kalonzo, I don't know why, he's just responding to them. President alisema 50 years, hapana, si 50 ni 40. Acha mambo yako. That's the stuff.
For the first time, the Business Daily inakuja second after...
Because of the main story that we're talking about today. How
DJ bought and sold EABL stake for 47 billion shillings profit. Once again, it says, British multinational DStv is set to bank a profit of 47.2 billion shillings from selling the extra stake of 14.97% it bought in East African Breweries Limited in March 2023 after reaching a deal to offload its Kenyan assets to Japanese beverage maker Asahi Holdings. This story, Business Daily has covered it extensively on page 2. Of course, utapata mengi zaidi. This is the Business Daily.
It's interesting that they said that a total EABL issued shares, Diageo shares in EABL about 515 million. Total valuation of EABL at current price is about 199 billion. But the valuation price, Asahi, 467 billion. Yeah. The total cost of what they're buying in a company valued at 199 is 300 billion. They've just put all the money. We don't care about the valuation. We are just buying. Yeah, we just want it. Yes.
Itakuja na profit.
Kuna kitu wanafuata.
SDA church entangled in collapsed crypto trading platform. That's also interesting.
Yeah, this one I saw it on social media, people complaining about vile wamegongwa. I didn't know that there was a church angle to it. That's a very interesting. Wewe unaenda kutafuta neno, unapelekwa mahali ya crypto, unagongwa pesa.
SDA.
Poleni.
On the take, cost of voluntary exits by civil servants hits 1.6 billion shillings, and workers exiting state entities voluntarily swelled the government's separation bill by 73.8% to 1.57 billion shillings in the year ended June 2025. That is signaling a rise in early exits from public service. Kenya Airways in twin leadership vacuum as Alan Kilavuka exits.
Swali hapa. Now that we are selling everything, Safaricom, situuze hii inakanga ikimake loss.
KQ.
Safaricom is selling, KPC, Kenya Pipeline we're selling even EABL. Hii inaleta tu loss.
Actually, that one I support. Even Kenyans are complaining about KQ.
Yeah, it should be sold, if you ask me. Part of the, anyway.
New rule caps virtual asset providers capital at 50 million shillings. That's the business daily this morning. All
right, very interesting stories, of course, the sale of Diageo shares. Jirongo, still the main story on the front page of the Daily Nation. Jirongo death mystery, of course, after the release of the autopsy report yesterday. Family spokesman says the report does not answer all the questions. And the queries they're asking is, why did Jirongo drive towards Naivasha? 1. 2, have police questioned persons Jirongo interacted with last before he left Karen? One of them, inasemekana, alikuwa na speaker, the National Assembly. Inasemekana, according to what people have said. Why is the bus company reluctant to make public the passenger manifest? Were there people in that bus? Was it an empty bus? Hiyo ndo story. And where are other witnesses, particularly passengers, to corroborate the bus driver's account? And why have the police not recorded statements from them? So 3 pathologists concluded serious injuries to the chest, abdomen and spine due to blunt force trauma caused the death of politician Cyrus Jirongo, which is consistent with a road accident. But questions still linger about the circumstances of the fatal road accident, given conflicting accounts. So they've covered this story on pages 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. A bit of politics features there on the front page of the Daily Nation. ODM without trailer, MPs plot defections. They have images of about 7 MPs currently ODM members who could be on their way out. One of them, interestingly, is Karoli Omondi, who worked very close with Raila Odinga when he was Prime Minister. I think he was a spokesman or someone very senior in that office.
He was here yesterday.
Yeah, okay. Oh, he was here till 47.
At night, yeah. With Dibal.
The SG of ODM, sema katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM. Edwin Sifuna is one of them. Richard Onyonka, huyo najua sharuka kwa upande ile ingine, ule jamaa wa
Mount Kenya,
wa Jubilee, anaitwaje? Matiang'i. Mark Nyamita, Uriri MP. Now those are 2 MPs from Nyanza, South Suba and Uriri. Babu Owino, of course, things have been said about him. Anthony Kibagendi, Caleb Amisi, ni wale wa Kenya moja wengi wao. Lakini what happened Kenya moja? Ilififia. Anyway, some Orange Party MPs opposed to the outfit working with President Ruto, including endorsement of his re-election, and others apprehensive about rigged primaries, have signaled they will decamp in the run-up to the 2027 general election. A lot of these MPs were really counting on the support of Raila Odinga. If Raila Odinga showed up at your campaign and said, hii kijana ndio mimi nataka mu-elect, that's it. Now he won't be there. Watu wanang'ang'ana. Other stories given prominence, of course, news of transition. A Supreme Court judge, Justice Mohammed Ibrahim, passed on yesterday at the Aga Khan Hospital. He said he was admitted as an advocate of the High Court in 1983. Where were you in 83?
Hata sikuwa planned.
And he was appointed to the top court in 2011. He was only a few days to retirement, then he passed on. So now there's a vacancy in the Supreme Court and the list of judges of the Supreme Court, and I know that will be a serious discussion. Control of budget, how globe-trotting county officials splashed millions on lucrative trips. Yesterday we were talking about how they're spending nothing on development, but they're spending a lot on travel. Senior school fees puzzle, pesa mutalipa proper. A revised fee structure for boarding schools that the government released earlier and is yet to be recalled, is causing confusion about fees payable in January. That story is on page 10. If at all you have a learner who's transitioning to senior school, you better read that story on page 10. Daily Nation.
Taifa Leo, kuliendaje? Aliyekuwa mbunge wa Lugari Cyrus Jirongo huenda alifariki dunia kutokana na majeraha aliyopata katika ajali ya gari iliyotokea Desemba tarehe 13, lakini maswali kadhaa ambayo hayajajibiwa yamewaacha wengi, hususan familia na marafiki zake, huku wakiendelea kutafuta ukweli kamili kuhusu kifo chake. Anasema kwamba sababu ya Jirongo kusafiri Naivasha ghafla, video za CCTV kufichwa na kimya cha abiria 67 bado fumbo kuu. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili. Na tukisonga teketeke, vidokezo zaidi, manusura wa maporomoko waachwa hoi huku ni kule Chesongony, na hofu ukame ukitanda kaunti kadhaa. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 10. Rais Trump aigonga Tanzania, amepiga marufuku raia wa Tanzania kuingia nchini mwake, hatua ambayo ni pigo kwa Rais Suluhu. Na kule juu, nyumba ya Raila yaanza kuungua. Habari hiyo ambayo tumezungumzia kule Daily Nation. There's ODM without Raila. That's Taifa Leo. Hiyo
habari ya Trump imepewa kipaumbele kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa The Standard. Trump hits again, putting Kenya's neighbors on partial restrictions, mainly Tanzania, which is among the 15 countries affected, while slamming others with outright entry bans, is a blunt signal from President Donald Trump's White House, coming after his harsh rhetoric towards Somalis. It also raises the stakes for Kenya. Even with recent health deals and cordial ties, Nairobi cannot assume it is safe from tougher vetting, with porous regional borders and close interaction with nationals from countries now on Washington's watch list. And this, you remember, was it last year when the president reviewed the issuance of IDs, especially on the northern frontier, northeastern side of Kenya? And that raised a lot of questions, because people say that a lot of Somalis, not Kenyan Somalis, people from Somalia who would want to travel elsewhere, get into Kenya, acquire Kenyan citizenship, and then acquire passports from Kenya, to allow them to travel abroad. So that could be a risk factor, in as far as these restrictions, but so far we've survived. So that's the main story. The only other story given prominence on the front page, of course, that news of transition, the death of Justice Mohammed Ibrahim of the Supreme Court. They said 2 weeks before his retirement.
Oh, wow. Supreme
Court Judge Ibrahim died at Aga Khan University Hospital. He was appointed the court's first bench in June 16. I think he is the one who has lasted longest in that Supreme Court, Justice Ibrahim. And 2 weeks only, then he was going to retire. Anyway, that's the Standard.
All right. People Daily, the promise and the paradox. Can Kenya match the Asian tigers? Is this a pipe dream, the Singapore dream? Nairobi versus Singapore, side by side.
I like the way they've put those two pictures. Lakini hii ya Nairobi, is it representative of the country? Ile picha wameka hapa. Does Kenya look like this?
Doesn't it? Oh, no, no.
No. Can you replicate this anywhere else in Kenya? Do we even come close anywhere else apart from
This is Nairobi.
This is just Nairobi.
Yeah. Eyeing the dragons, but the whole of Singapore look like that.
Yes.
It does?
No, okay, I don't know much about Singapore. I've never been there.
Yeah. So labda Rais atuambie.
Rais anaelewa zaidi Singapore vile inakaa.
Yeah.
Hata Singapore tunaambiwa tukweka Singapore. Do we even know what Singapore looks like?
We don't know how Singapore looks like. Labda pia hiyo tu ni capital city yao imewekwa pale. But this is ours. Looks equally nice. Sio mbaya.
Looks decent, not bad.
All right, that story is on page 4 and 5. Why Ruto is taking on Kalonzo ahead of 2027 is another story covered on page 6.
By the way, why is he taking on Kalonzo?
Why
not Matiang'i? Why not Maraga? Why not Gachagua? It's just Kalonzo.
Labda, you know, there's a time he said that hakuna mtu huko anampea pressure. So labda.
Sema wana akili. That's a very...
Now Kalonzo ametoa.
Na hakuna barabara huko kwao.
Ala. Kule juu on the top strip, audit shock, 10 counties operating over 200 bank accounts. There was a time Nairobi was put on the spot na lawyers wake. You remember? So many lawyers in Nairobi.
Yes.
Sasa, and banks as well. Audit sai imeonyesha 10 counties operating over 200 bank accounts. We're still talking about such issues.
Yes, once again on State of the Nation, these are the three individuals who will be in studio to help us take a look at the big headlines today. David Kiplagat, who's a MP Soy, Kathy Jirongo, who's a governance expert, and Mwalimu Wilson Sosion, a veteran educationist and unionist. He was also a member of the National Assembly in the 12th Parliament. So they will be in studio starting at 6:30. All right.